Phone calls are rolling in right now. So we're going to take our first one. It's from Rockville, Pennsylvania. Bill, you're on PCM.
Oh, good evening, gentlemen. Always a pleasure to speak with you. And shout out really quick to my fellow weather nerds out there.
There are plenty
I
of
wanted to talk a little bit about the misty distant future, if I might, and a particular index frequently mentioned on Weather World being the typhoon rule. And was wondering if you gentlemen or your staff consider the work by Rankin et al. Concerning the Bering Sea rule, or perhaps any of the other what we might call organic forecasting methods that we could blend with the computer model guidance in the long-range forecasting.
Well, the first one you mentioned there, and all of these things that you mentioned, are of a sort of thing that we might call pattern recognition or rules of thumb. You mentioned the typhoon rule, and I think that's the idea that when a typhoon in the Western Pacific recurves and goes up east of Japan and joins with the jet stream out there, that energy starts to rearrange the jet stream pattern across the northern hemisphere in a way that predictably oftentimes brings cooler air into the eastern part of North America about a week later. And so when we see computer models, speaking of your blend, when we see computer models that react the way the rule of thumb or the rule that you're talking about reacts, then we combine those two things and we have more confidence in the computer model. And that's why the best forecasters are one that have memories like an elephant for old weather patterns and also use the modern computer models.
Yeah, you know, Bill, the Bering Sea rules had a lot of visibility recently in social media, and I hadn't paid much attention to it until a couple months ago. The idea there is that what's going on in the Bering Sea plays a significant role in what the weather map will look like 2, 3, even 4 weeks in the future. And it can spit out what the upper air pattern and the surface maps might look like 2, 3, 4 weeks in the future, plus or minus a couple days. And that's where I get a little nervous because in many respects, winter weather maps often do have similarities if you give yourself plus or minus 2, 3, or 4 days.
All right, let's take a phone call from